Okay, we are doing page 133 and 134. It's titled Dry Measures. There's going to be different measurements and also some review on this page. 133, 134. 1A says 1 year equals how many months? 1 year is 12 months. 1B says 1 kilogram is blank grams. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. 1C, 1 day equals how many hours? It will be 24. And 1D, 1 peck is how many quarts? 8. 1E, 1 gallon is how many quarts? 4. 1F, 1 meter is how many centimeters? 100 centimeters in a meter. 1G, 1 yard equals how many feet? It's 3 feet. And in 1H, 1 bushel is 4 pecks. Okay, 2, it tells us to reduce these fractions. So 2A, we have the fraction 4 over 6. What number goes into both 4 and 6? You're looking for your GCF, your greatest common factor. What's the highest number that goes into 4 and 6? Well, 2 goes into both. So you say 4 divided by 2, and 6 divided by 2. You do divided by 2 both here and here. And when you do that, 4 divided by 2, you get 2. 6 divided by 2, you get 3. And your reduced answer is 2/3. 2B, we have 3 over 6. What goes into both 3 and 6? The highest number that goes into 3 is 6. Well, we know 1 goes into 3 and 6. And we know 3 goes into 3 and 6. So 3 is the highest number. And you're going to divide both of these by 3 to figure out what the reduced fraction will be. 3 goes into 3 1 time. And 3 goes into 6 2 times. So your reduced fraction is 1 over 2, or half. 2C, we have 5 over 15. What goes into both 5 and 15? The highest number that goes into both is 5. 5 goes into 5 1 time. 5 goes into 15 3 times. And our answer is 1/3. And then 2D, 4 over 10. What's the highest number that goes into both 4 and 10? It will be 2. So 2 goes into 4. How many times does 2 go into 4? It goes in 2 times. 2 goes into 10. How many times does 2 go into 10? 5 times. So our reduced fraction is 2 over 5. Okay, we have some dividing and checking to do. In 3A, we have 774 divided by 32. First we ask, does 32 go into our 7? No, it doesn't. Let's put an X there. Does 32 go into our 77? Yes, so we know we're just looking at this part of the problem here. For right now, we're just looking at that part. And we're going to estimate it by covering up our 2 and covering up our 7 and asking ourselves, how many times does our 3 go into 7? And that's just for estimating. 3 goes into 7 2 times. So let's write a 2 here. And now we need to multiply 32 times 2. When we do that, we end up getting 64. So let's write 64 here. We'll subtract, and we get 13 for our answer. Next step, we need to bring down the 4. And now we're asking how many times does 32 go into 134? Let's cover up our last numbers to estimate it. So we're covering up our 2, we're covering up our 4. And we're asking ourselves how many times does 3 go into 13? 3 goes into 13 4 times. Remember, this might be right, it might be wrong, but it will be close. When you multiply 32 times 4, your answer is going to be 128. And that's going to work out. 128 is going to work out because when we subtract it, and let me do that here, we get a total of 6. As long as this number is smaller than our divisor, we're doing good. And it is, so we're okay with that. So we got 24 remainder 6. The directions told us to divide and check, so let's go ahead and check. We're going to take our 24 and multiply it by 32. 24 times 32. Let's start by doing our spray of the 2 to the 4 and then the 2 to the 2. 2 times 4 gives us 8. 2 times 2 gives us 4. And we start with 48. Then we need to put a 0 here. And we go to our tens. Multiply 3 times 4, then 3 times 2. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. Now we need to add up our numbers. 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. And 7. And then we need to not forget to add our remainder to what we get. So we add 6 to this. 6 plus 8 gives us 14. Carry the 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7. Does this number match with this number? If it does, it checks, and it does. So this checks at the bottom. Our answer is 24, remainder 6. Let's go ahead and do B together. 3B. We have 51, 1,784. Does 51 go into 1? No. Does 51 go into 17? No. Does 51 go into 178? Yes. So we know we're just looking at this part of the problem to start with. How many times does 5 go into 17 for our estimating? Well, 5 goes into 17 3 times. Remember, it might be right, it might be wrong, but it will be close. And when we do 3 times 51, we get 153. Go ahead and subtract, and you get 25. Then you need to bring down your 4, and you get 254. So now you need to figure out how many times does 51 go into 254. So again, for estimating, cover up your last number in both your 51 and your 254. And you ask yourself, How many times does 5 go into 25? Well, 5 will go into 25 5 times. Now remember how we always say it might be right, it might be wrong, it will be close. We're going to see it being wrong here. We're going to do our 51 times 5 to find out. When you do that, you get 255. Now see, the problem is that is bigger than what we have there. So it is too much. So we need to back up, and instead of doing times 5, let's do times 4, one less. Might be right, might be wrong, but it will be close. And when we do it one less, it's going to help us out here. 4 times 1, 4. 4 times 5, 20. We're going to put our 4 here because 4 is going to work. We now subtract 204. And we get 50. Wow, that's going to be a big remainder, but that's okay. As long as this number is smaller than our divisor, we are okay. So 34, remainder 50. Now you need to go ahead and still check that on your own. Also, I'm going to have you do the word problems on your own. And that's it.